Welcome to Rising Voices. My name is Andres Rodriguez. It's a pleasure to be here with you on this great podcast, a podcast dedicated to the youth of all of Long Island who have dedicated their time and service with various initiatives. Happy holidays here from us here at Rising Voices, but most importantly, let's get right started. Right now, I have Irvin Sanchez with me here. He is a rising voice in the communities here in Long Island, most importantly, Brentwood, North Bayshore, and Deer Park. Right now, we're here with Irvin Sanchez. How are you, Irvin?
I'm doing great. It's been an amazing day. It's a great opportunity to be here with you on this podcast, being one of the first people here. It's an amazing opportunity you gave me.
Yeah, and I mean, talking about this podcast, it all started with a vision that I had, and that vision was with the organization Student Advocates of Long Island. But it all began when I came up to Irvin, because I mean, Irvin has been that influential part, that influential leader that made me start one of these missions. Irvin has been really a part of many different organizations here in the town of Islip, but most importantly, across Long Island. Irvin, I wanted to go to the first question with you. How can you describe yourself in 3 words? All right. Where do you come from? What is the typical household for you, right? How do you feel being a leader here in Long Island?
Well, I'm Salvadorian. Yeah, I'm happy to be Salvadorian. I'm here from Brentwood. What a typical household for me is just me and my parents, just us 3, just doing everything we can.
What inspired you to get involved in making a difference in your community? There's just many things that, like, many storylines that make the reason why you can get involved in a community here in Long Island. I'll start with myself. I mean, seeing our people in Long Island, but most importantly, the rise in poverty and human and food insecurity here in Long Island is something that I've seen now often. Mm-hmm. How did you get inspired to be involved and make a difference in not only your community, but in the Latino community here in Long Island?
Well, really, I never had this as a plan in the future for me when I was young. Really help the community. It really just panned out. It just happened suddenly. You know, in middle school, I joined this club, Leaders of the Future. And after that, joining that club, doing it throughout high school, I've done so many events just with them, with other people. Got to meet you, of course, be part of your organization as well. It's just something you don't get ready for. It just happens, and here you are helping a lot of people in your community, other people's community. It just happens.
Yeah, and let's do a shout out, because I mean, without the leadership of many people, especially in the organization of EOC of Suffolk, but most importantly, Leaders of the Future, we probably couldn't be the leaders we are today. So let's do a little shout out to Mr. Ricky, Miss Julia, and most importantly, someone who's close and dear to our heart, Miss Rebecca, because they have been the most influential part of our lives for us to become those leaders and those beacons for the next generation.
Yes, for sure. Miss Rebecca, she's done a lot for me, shown me the ways from being a leader to helping the community, helping others, getting other people involved in the community as well. She's amazing.
Yeah, no, and I'm thankful of that, because not many people in our world today have had that privilege to become a vision for us youth. There's very little people who are really just there for us and who are motivating us to become the better versions of ourselves. But those family figures like Miss Julia, Mr. Ricky, Miss Rebecca, and all of those at Leaders of the Future are what is the meaning of community and leadership. Where do you see yourself now, Irvin? You graduated high school. What do you want to do after high school? Well, now that you graduated
after
high
college.
School, after college.
What I see myself, my plan is to be a social worker, following the footsteps of those that helped me go through all these events, help the community. I like to help. I like to help the community, be there for the community, especially Brentwood, Bayshore, Deer Park, Islip, all the communities I can help. I enjoy it, be part of an organization like EOC that goes out to many events, helps people get connection, expand, get to know even more people. Just be a social worker. That's what my goal is after college, and to continue. Yeah.
Well, and another thing is, Irvin, I'm going to brag about you right now, but having last year over 1,000 hours of community service, that is limitless, because not a lot of people have the time, have the passion, have the love and the commitment to give back to the community in that way. But really a round of applause to you, because I mean, not a lot of people do that, and not a lot of people have that passion to give back to the community in that sort of way. And I mean, I think that's the reason why I named it Rising Voices, was because I did not only want to invite the rising leaders, the rising voices of our community, but I also wanted to make this a welcoming space for all youth, so they can share their vision, so they can share where they come from, right? And the hardships that they had to go to make this generation what it is today. And really, it's honoring, because I mean, I say this to myself, that we have a strong impact on the next generation, and seeing youth get involved every single day is really mesmerizing, and it's passionate. Because I mean, walking through the schools, working in Super Saturdays, I mean, going to those elementary schools and speaking to those young people and educating them is really a commitment you have to take to become that beacon for the next generation.
Be that idol for them, something they can look up to in the future when they need to.
Yes, and I mean, that's what most youth need, is an idol. Because sometimes parents aren't there for them. And I think the youth need that. The youth need a source of support. And back to like what you were saying, being a social worker is all about that. And I hope to see myself being a social worker too, but for that same reason, because we love our community, we love what we do, and we always have a smile on our faces doing it. We're gonna leave it right there. We're gonna take a little short break. When we come back, we'll have more here with the rising, not senior anymore. Well, you're not old, but we'll be right back with more here on Rising Voices with our leader, Irvin Sanchez. We'll be back. Hey everyone, this is Andres Rodriguez from the Rising Voices podcast here on Conexcion Latina. This episode and podcast is thanks to Liga La Justicia Abogados. Do you need a free consultation? They speak Spanish and they have over 30 years of experience. Call them at 1-800-355-1234. This is 1-800-355-1234. That's Liga La Justicia Abogados. Welcome back to Rising Voices with the inspiring Irvin Sanchez. I mean, what we just came back from the break, we were talking about this amazing vision we all had, and that's where our family comes from. When I created the organization Student Advocates of Long Island, which I'll talk to more throughout the episodes while they keep going, is that it's a family, but it's a family of young leaders who are coming from all across Long Island. But when we speak about where these students are coming from, they're mostly coming from Latino communities, from the minority communities here in Long Island. And seeing the vision, the empowerment that they have is truly mesmerizing, because you don't see that enough in our youth here in Long Island. But seeing it from 47 and the 50 students that we have giving back to the community, it's really inspiring. Welcome back, Irvin. Let's talk about this question that I have. It's really a question about positive change and a question about role models. I think as we continue coming towards the holiday season, everyone has a role model, and everyone has not only a vision, but something that they look forward doing.
They strive for.
Yes. So right now, let me ask you this question. Who has been your biggest role model in promoting positive change?
Ooh, that's a good question, because I've had several people in my life that I've always looked up to. It's, a hard choice. I can say Miss Rebecca, my mom, my dad. You're a great, positive person I look up to as well. But I'll go really just my mom, because she's really been put through the ringer a lot, and to be still going for her age, for me, for everyone around her that she carries with her, it's amazing that she keeps with the head up high, positive, doesn't, you don't see her crack, never, strangely. It's something I admire from her, and I try my best to do the same thing for others, for others to look up to me, do the best for others as well. I think it's my mother the best. She's the one I look up to, really.
And I mean, something that we're talking about is the role models that come from the household.
Yeah.
We all have that role model coming into our lives. For me, it's definitely my parents, my mom, my dad. The people who surround me, right, are the people who are my role models. But for me is the youth.
Yes.
Going out into the community, helping people out, just, saying good morning to someone, even in the hallways. It's a small gesture that at the end of the day is really something big.
It can go a long ways.
Yes. Because, at the same time, let's just say in the high school, right here in Brentwood, when I'm in the high school, I always try to when I even if I don't know the person, every morning go around and say good morning, because you don't know what that person is actually going through. I think it's a sense of empowering the younger generations, or even a kind gesture that will go really a long way.
Yeah.
And that's because you don't know where people are coming from. You don't know the hardships that they've had.
You don't know their backstory.
Exactly. You always see the smile that they put on, but not what they really feel inside. So I think it's really about promoting that positive change and being that role model in individuals that really just shows the impact we as people can make a difference in other people's lives. Let me ask you this question. How can you define the word leadership? Now, leadership is a big word because you've heard leaders, you've heard leader. We are in leaders of the future. It's a impactful word. But how can you define that word leadership?
Leaderships have different meaning to many different people. For me, I say leader is someone you can look up to who tries their best to do what's right, no matter what's going on. They strive for the best for others and for themselves, to grow as a group, not as an individual, creating other leaders in the process of that. I feel like that's what a leader does for me.
Yeah. No, and I agree with that, because I mean, another thing that comes with being a leader is uniting. Unity is a great word, because I mean, a lot of people say when you unite with a lot of people, you can make a strong impact. And that really comes with a lot of issues. One of those issues was actually where we had Roberto Clemente Park, where that park was it was a strong issue that there was there. But thanks to of course the District 1 Youth Advisory Board and many organizations and youth, most importantly, that make that impact on really uniting. And we're not talking about uniting while protesting. We're talking about uniting and making a positive message.
Yes.
Because something I stand for a lot is food insecurity. Because we see it on our daily lives. We see it in the news. We see it even when we're in our car driving home. We see that people are in need. And a lot of people are really against those people. They think that they're there because they chose to be there. Not a lot of people know the backstory that they've had behind the scenes. So I think it's really important that we look at the bigger picture, right? And that bigger picture is, how can we give back to the community? How can we be that vision towards our younger generations? But most importantly, how can we define a better movement for all? How can we show everyone that kindness matters at the end of the day? And how can we also motivate other people, not only youth, but everyone around us, to share some love at the end of the day? Because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So it's always great, especially around the holiday season, to show that compassion to giving back, that love, and most importantly, that faith of, I got your back, right? And that's really important, because at the end of the day, someone needs that I got your back, or I'm there for you. All right. And this is a really, really big question I have for you, because I've seen you do many things. I mean, alongside me, but in various organizations, food drives, helping at Pronto with me that week that we went to Pronto, and I think what we've done is really impactful, but it's only a tiny bit of what we can do. Are there any projects you're currently working on or hope to start?
Currently, I'm just working on one main big project with you as well. You know, the Christmas tree lighting at the high school. That's gonna happen. You know, that's been a fun, journey so far with you, with the others, setting it up. It's the biggest thing so far in high school. I believe during the Christmas time. Yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. I have little side gigs going on. I'm a coach, soccer coach.
Yeah.
I do that for a bit as well. That's always fun. Meeting young youth, get them to join, play soccer, make them have fun. Yeah. It's always nice to see.
Yeah. And I mean, going back to that tree lighting ceremony, it's a big event. When we talk about the amount of students that unite, that we bring over 50, 60 volunteers every single year to come and join us and have some fun. I think when I always tell the students, I'm like, if you volunteer, there's going to be food.
Yeah.
And I don't say it because I want to be rude. I say it because we're going to have some fun.
Yeah.
I'm all about having fun even. I mean, if we're at an event, I'm going to try to dance. I'm going to try to have that fun. But it's not because I want to be weird. It's because I want to show everyone that you can put anything you put your mind to, right? And you can spread a good message around the world and you can have some fun. Right? Anything you're doing, have some fun with it. And that's really the main reason why I wanted to have this podcast. And it was to not only share that positive message, but to have some fun. Because, at the end of the day, what I was saying before, we don't know what's happening tomorrow. So living life to the fullest, that's really an impact that we should make on everyone's life. But yeah, I mean, we've done a lot. We've done a lot. And for the past 5 years, we've been doing a lot of things. I think I'm going to go off the top of my head, but I think it's more. We've done probably over 200 events.
Probably, yeah. We've the last 3 years, 4 years, we've gone everywhere here in Broward, the whole area.
Yeah.
It's always a fun time, going to all these events, seeing all these people, spending time with, your friends that are helping the communities, fooling around with the community that you're with, right? Helping. It's always fun.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's when I see the young people, the little youngsters just smiling or having fun or eating cotton candy or whatever they're doing to have fun. That's something that really is touching to me. Because I think we have a powerful next generation, but who knows, that young person that we're seeing right there can be the next president, or can be the next us, the next leader in our next generation. We're going to take a little break. When we come back, we'll talk more about the leadership here of Irvin Sanchez, and most importantly, what message he wants to promote the next generation with. We'll be right back. Hey everyone, this is Andres Rodriguez from the Rising Voices podcast here on Conexcion Latina. This episode and podcast is thanks to Liga de la Justicia Abogados. Do you need a free consultation? They speak Spanish and they have over 30 years of experience. Call them at 1-800-355-1234. This is 1-800-355-1234. That's Liga de la Justicia Abogados. Welcome back to Rising Voices. Listen, it's been the first episode, but I'm already having that energy. I mean, what great guest that I have here. I mean, I think I chose the right person to start with, because I mean, we've been through a lot. I mean, of the events that we've done and the amazing things that we've done in the community. But now I want to go into something that is really, it's a question that a lot of people don't know how to ask. And that question is, how did you get involved in your community? How did, other than Leaders of the Future, how did you find that gift of you giving back, of you not only giving back to our younger generations, but everyone around?
Well, when I first went for the couple events, to be honest, I didn't want to go. I was like, oh, well, I have to do this. I have to get the hours and all this. But the more and more I went, the more I saw the people's faces light up when they got stuff that they needed. The time I spent with everyone throughout the years there, it's amazing. You just inspiration, seeing people's faces light up, the love they get from receiving all these stuff. It warms you, it builds up, and it makes you want to do more and give more back to the community. And for me, I don't expect nothing back. I do this out of love. I like helping. I like seeing everyone's faces light up, love seeing everyone, you know, be happy, spend time together, no matter what. It's something like that you do that you don't expect nothing in return. You just do this out of just your kindness of your love, and that's it.
Yeah. What event for you has been really the one that you like love doing? Like everyone talks about the tree lighting ceremony because it's during the holiday season. But what other event do you like? Does like stick out to you?
From all the events I've been through, it's a tough question. I could say like the Christmas tree lighting. You know, that's always a great event. But I guess I'll say it's not an event really, but it's a program, the summer program that I do with EOC. That it's always a hell of fun times. It's always crazy there. It's always, you know, fun to play with the kids there, you know, hear their stories, tell them my story, inspire them, hearing them say, oh, I'm gonna, you know, beat you at this race or do that or this, that. It's always fun to be at that program during the summer because you meet so many people, so many young leaders that, you know, you see that they want to do more and they can do more for themselves and for the community that they got. It's something that, you know, that program I will always treasure in my heart for all the moments I've got throughout that.
No, yeah, and I think that's a great program because, I mean, even though I haven't worked it the times that I've gone, it is about how students motivate one another and not only that, but have fun. I think, as Irvin was saying, it all starts from home, right? It starts from where the things that your family teaches you, but not only that, it comes from the mentors and the mentees that you have. Not only that, but Irvin, you can see that he not only has that love for the community, but really wants to empower the next generation. And most importantly, have fun. I think that's what we need to do more of, is have fun and give back to our community. Irvin, final question. This is really a question to the youth because, I mean, our youth has done so much. We've been through the pandemic. That was a whole roller coaster there. But our youth has been so involved. What advice could you give to the young people who want to get involved in their communities?
What I would say to the young folks that are listening to this right now is that don't be afraid to go out there. Don't be afraid to be judged. You're doing this out of love. You're not doing this for a return. You're doing this because you like it. You like to help people. You like to see them happy and everything. And to see the other people you're like helping with, just see them, you know, spend time with each other, with everyone else. It's something that you can't really forget. It's something that it's really nice to feel. It's like you really just gotta go, just throw yourself out there and just have fun with it. Don't be afraid to be judged or anything. Just go out there and just have hella fun with it.
Yes, and I agree with that because the main key word that we've been talking about today is fun.
Yeah,
because I think the students and the youth are having really a lot of fun, especially when we go to these events and we have our times of being serious, but at the same time we're having just a lot.
We know how to switch that.
We know how to switch that up.
Like to fun to serious.
Yes,
it's always there.
It's always a fun time. And I'm gonna end the show with this. I think it's a powerful quote that I found. And it's a quote that really shows the message that our youth has and the message of what we can do to motivate the next generation. It says, young people are not just our future, they are our present. Their ideas and energy have the power to change the world. And I say that with our help, with the help of our next generation, and most importantly, with the help of ourselves, the youth can accomplish anything. I really want to thank Irvin Sanchez for coming and joining us here today. It was great having him as our first guest. Please tune in to our next episode. This is Rising Voices. Thank you for joining us.